All right, breaking right now, we get stocks moving higher, up 235 points right now on the Dow. This amid news that Donald Trump is coming forward with a tax plan this week as soon as Wednesday. And, of course, the news out of France. Happening just yesterday, centrist Emmanuel Macron, former Rothschild banker, came out on top in the first round of France's presidential election. Marine Le Pen is there as well. But I'll tell you, people think that Macron's going to get it, and that's sending the Dow up more than 200 points right now, the NASDAQ to an all-time high. Joining me right now, Bullseye brief founder and author Adam Johnson, along with our very own Gerri Willis, who's standing by at the New York Stock Exchange. Good to have you both here. Gerri, nice to see this kind of upside. Is it about France? Is it about taxes? Is it about just sort of everything right now?
Everything right now, but especially what happened in France overnight. This is exactly what the markets wanted to see. This does not upset the apple cart, and you can tell by looking at bank stocks. Bank stocks higher today, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, even American Express doing better here. And that's because they see samey in terms of economic policy. Not a breakup of the EU here. We see a guy who's right in the middle, a centrist, and the markets are loving that. Trish?
Yeah, you know, Gerri, one of the terms that they're throwing around over there in France is Frexit. Get it? You know,
yeah.
It's Brexit, you know, it's a French exit. And Marine Le Pen is seen as very sympathetic to that. France clearly, Adam, has had a lot of problems integrating their Muslim population.
Yes.
That's led to a lot of strife, terror attacks, a lot of trouble. And then from an economic perspective, clearly, Hollande's socialism model simply has not worked.
No, it's not.
So what do you think ultimately happens here? I mean, could Marine Le Pen do better than people perhaps are predicting right now? I mean, could she actually wind up the next president of France?
She certainly could, but she is considered on the very far right. She's an extremist if you actually want to look at the original number of candidates and put them in a spectrum.
But by the way, you also had extremes on the far left. I mean, there was one candidate who said, we don't want anybody to make more than $400,000 a year. If you make more than $400,000 a year, we're going to take every penny of it. Kind of sounds like Bernie Sanders, right? But that would have been something that would have been very detrimental to the French.
Well, you know, if I may, I think France could actually take a page out of the playbook from here in the U.S., where everyone gets a voice. It's not always pretty, and you know, I can tell Gerri wants to get in here. It's not always pretty, is it? But you got to give people a voice. That's something that we do very well in this country. I'm so proud to be an American. I'm proud of the growth that we see. I'm proud of the fact that we have full employment. I'm proud of the fact that U.S. corporations are generating record earnings. I'm proud of the fact that this market is making new highs. I think it's time that maybe France takes a look at what's happening here in the U.S., where sometimes it's messy, but we get it done.
In other words, capitalism works. And this whole socialist mantra, you know, you're only going to work 30 hours a week or 35. You're going to take 4 weeks vacation in August every year. And this idea that nobody should make more than anybody else. And somehow, if you do. But this, I mean, let's be honest, this was starting to take root here with the extreme left and Bernie Sanders. I mean, there are a lot of people right now in the United States of America that have looked at this disparity between capital and labor and said the answer is not to allow more entrepreneurship. The answer, Adam, is to actually restrict it and make sure that the government's there with a handout to redistribute
wealth. Which is crazy. Do you remember when President Obama actually told small business owners, he said, you think you built that business, you didn't. We did here in the U.S. because you're part of a government that looks after you. Are you crazy? I've never been so angry in my life from a U.S. president. Well, guess what? Now we have the polar opposite, where all of a sudden we're giving money back to corporations. Corporations are the ones who, well, it's not corporations. It's American businesses. Sometimes it's corporations. 70% of the job growth here in this country comes from small business owners. One and two people
Gerri's done
at
a lot
time.
of research on this too as well, you know, and you look at the strength of the small business, the backbone really, if you would, Gerri, of what is the American economy. And shouldn't we be doing everything we possibly can right now to ease regulations, to ease the tax burden, and make it easier for these small business owners and corporations alike to go out there and hire, because that's going to be the key to our success.
A very, very good point, Trish. And from what I've read, most of the growth that people expect in jobs is going to come from those small businesses. So you absolutely need to relieve those bureaucratic burdens, and also you need to take a look at taxes, because most of these business owners, they're filing their taxes as individuals, not as corporations. So something needs to be done with the individual tax rate. But let me tell you, they are part and parcel of this whole capitalism system. We need to support them every bit as much as we support the people right where I'm standing.
Simplifying the tax code, lowering tax rates, giving people more incentive to go out and build businesses. That's what is the dream in this country. That's what keeps it alive. And if government can just get out of the way, which means lower regulation, and allow businesses to grow, provide a stable legal framework, a stable accounting framework, that's something to get excited about. And I think that's, Gerri and Trish, why stocks are making new highs.
Amen. Up 239. I'll take it. Adam and Gerri, thank you so much, guys.